conditions were always like this, navigation would present few problems. But unfortunately, they aren't, and when fog or thick weather obscures visibility, we turn to radar. But radar can only help us up to a point. Here is an actual case. At this instant of time, all we know is that there are two objects on our starboard bow. Because of own ship's movement, afterglow trails only show the relative or apparent movement of these objects. Here they show that ship X is on a collision course, but its true course and that of Y are not readily obvious. Let's see the same situation from the bridge. This is ship X, and her aspect can be seen at a glance. Here is Y, a stationary buoy. On its own, our radar didn't tell us enough about the movements of X and Y to enable us to make a safe alteration. Only a plot taking account of our own movement can show the true or proper motion of X and hence her aspect. This is the situation we have just seen, but here we see it on a display where all objects and own ship move directly with their true motion. The crossing ship X now looks like a crossing ship, and buoy Y now looks stationary. Let us see more of the differences between relative and true motion displays. This is the usual relative display, where own ship appears to stay still, and land and other ships appear to move relative to own ship. This is a true motion display, where land and other stationary objects stay stationary, and moving objects, including own ship, move in their true sense. This is the standard Decker display. A new display, fed from the Decker Trackmaster unit, makes possible the dramatic new facility of direct true motion display. Into this unit we feed ship speed, either manually or automatically from the ship's log, while ship's true course is fed in from the compass. Well, now let's get underway and look at the Decker True Motion display at work on passage between London and Antwerp. Here is our own ship, clearly identified by its heading marker, steering east in the mouth of the Thames. Afterglow trails now show the true movement of own ship and other traffic, while the land and buoys very properly remain stationary. These pictures are considerably speeded up, of course. Even in more open waters, there are stationary features, such as buoys, light vessels, or the Thames Towers, for example. Here on the radar screen, we see the tongue tower and light vessel, which remain in their correct position without moving, while ships move with their true courses and speeds. If we want to take a bearing from own ship, or a range, there are facilities for doing this instantly and accurately, regardless of own ship's position on the face of the tube. Here is the tongue light vessel, which we've just seen on the PPI. True motion is a purely optional facility and can be switched out at any time. Here, by way of comparison, is relative motion, ship's head up. The wavering trails are due to own ship yawing. In these conditions, it is difficult to determine true courses by plotting. These pictures were taken immediately after, but this time with true motion switched in. radar pictures were made in good visibility, but notice how the course and speed of the crossing ship is instantly apparent in this close situation without the delay inherent in plotting. The true motion display shows for the first time other ships' true course and speed directly on the radar display. Watch the two ships ahead and note how clearly the whole situation is under observation during the alterations of course. This was the first of the crossing ships that we saw. If relative motion is contained in the open sea, how much more so is it in narrow? Notice how difficult it is to pick out the buoyed channel when the buoys themselves appear to be moving like ships. A turn of the switch to bring in true motion, and how different is the picture. Notice now afterglow trails. Weather conditions aren't always like this in the Scheldt, but the radar picture is the same under any conditions. In thick weather, and especially in busy and congested seaways, the Decker True Motion Display is a great step forward in the contribution of science to navigation. It doesn't sail the ship for you. There is no substitute for a good seaman, but by giving early, unambiguous information, it keeps the navigator informed of the likelihood of dangerous situations before they develop. Continuous information on the true courses and speeds of other vessels enable decisions to be made with confidence and safety. In the present state of congestion, this was never more important to bring ships safely home.